Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the Gnarly Gnome. This is called the Weekly Pint. This is the show that is not a show. This is, it's an excuse. That's all it is. This is just one clever excuse for me and you to hang out on Monday nights live, 9:30-ish, Sometimes we're 15 minutes later, so it just happens. I was going to be live on time tonight, and then my family was out doing some shopping tonight or something. I don't know. They got all kinds of weird stuff, like things that I don't even understand. And right as I was getting ready to come down here to go live, they come barging in the door and have to show me all their things, and then they're riding scooters around on the floor, and we have to have the conversation that scooters don't make good podcast sounds. It makes noise, very loud noises like thunder. It sounds like thunder overhead. Not good for a podcast. So then it was 15 minutes late. That's just the way it goes. And on this show that is not a show, being late is okay because it's not a show. If it was a show, it would be very, very rude to be late, to leave you guys just waiting. But it's a happy hour. You can walk in 15 minutes late, and everybody's there hanging out, having a drink, waiting for you. Hey, welcome to happy hour. Hey, thanks. That's what this is. That's kind of the whole point of it. Because it's a happy hour, though, you do have to tell me what you're drinking so that I can pretend that we're drinking together. And it doesn't have to be beer. It can be whatever you want. Let's see. Chris is having a Space Toast Continuum. That sounds great. Josh is having a West Side Dippa. Julia is having a Japanese-style rice lager from Esoteric. Let's see. John is having had a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale as a post-lawnmower beer. Now sipping New Rift 8-Year Rye. That's a good one. Joe's having Mad Tree Ziegler. 'Tis the season. And Eric got a water after a Costalo lemonade. Look, no criticism. That's legal in Ohio. You can have as much Costalo as you want right now. Let's see. Ryan's drinking Harry Porter and the Maple Porter from Fabled. Okay. Maple Potter. There we go. That makes more sense. Harry Porter and the Maple Potter. That definitely sounds like a Fabled beer. I have nothing in front of me, but I will. Actually, I do have something in front of me. I have an empty glass in front of me, which is an absolute crime to have an empty glass in front of you. Luckily, there are very simple, easy ways that we can fix that. We will put something in the empty glass. If you are a regular, which I think most of you are, you know it's coming next. We got to put some rum in it. We're going to put rum in that empty glass. And I got to give a shout out. This was a gift. A huge shout out to Chris for sending me home with this bottle. I've never had this before. I have been staring at it for the last week or so and letting it tease me, and we're going to try it together on the show. This is Flor de Caña. This is a Nicaraguan rum. This one does say it's 12 years old, and that is interesting. It's interesting because all of them don't. So this is one of those brands that has kind of gotten a few people riled up. Unlike bourbon, there's a lot of rum that will have age statements on the bottle, like this little 12 on here, that don't actually mean that is the youngest thing in the bottle. Sometimes it's an average. Sometimes it's just like the majority of the rum in there. In theory, some of it's just made up. So they did change this packaging at some point, and instead of saying 12 years old, it just now says 12. Chris says they also have a 15-year. They do. They have a 4-year and a 7-year also, none of which I've tried. I don't know a lot about Nicaraguan rum. There's only one distillery in Nicaragua, and it is Flor de Caña. There's other brands that are distilled here and then sent other places and packaged under other names, but they're all made here. And I can't read my comments on the other screen. Hang on, guys. I'm going to fix that. All right. Northeast Ohio Craft Beverage News says, Oktoberfest Quest, let's go. We're not questing tonight. We'll talk about the quest, though. The quest is underway, but we're I might do things. I might do things a little different this year. I'm still. We're gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna get opinions from you guys to tell me if I need to do it differently. One distillery in Nicaragua, one rum distillery, and this is it. Let's see. It says it's carbon neutral certified. So this is kind of their big thing is that they are like a sustainable distillery, carbon neutral. They grow all their own sugar cane right around the distillery there. They fair trade is fair. I don't know if they're fair trade certified. I don't know if that's a thing in rum, but they believe in fair trade. They try to be good for the environment. John says, I was in Cincy this past weekend. We beat our escape room, ate at Mad Tree Parks and Rec, and hit up Yard House. Always a fun time. Be back next week. Going to try to hit 20 breweries in 2.5 days to check off some from the Ohio On Tap app. I support that. Let's see on the back of this. Okay. It says on here, Fair Trade certified since 2017. This aged product may contain ingredients produced prior to the certification. Imported, that is all it tells me. Product in Nicaragua. We knew all that. Okay, there's a couple things on the side. Let's see what that says. Winner, Global Rum Producer of the Year. Okay, that's nice. It's gluten-free. Guess what? Pretty much all spirits are. Fair Trade certified, 1 million trees planted since 2005. Distilled using 100% green energy. It doesn't tell me anything about the rum. I think, and since I've never tried a Nicaraguan rum, I could be wrong, but I believe this would kind of fall under a similar category as like a Jamaican rum or a Cuban rum. Very clean, lots of column stills to clean it up and make it just as clean as possible, I guess is the best way to put it. This is barrel-aged, though, obviously by the color, so it's going to have some other flavors going on. It does not have added sugar, unlike the rum that we were drinking. Was that last week when we were drinking the Zaya? Do I still have it sitting around? Yeah, I could break that out if I need to. It was very, very sweet and very, very vanilla-y. Lots of stuff added afterwards. They don't do that here, supposedly. Aged in bourbon barrels. The distillery sits at the base of a volcano, so all of the soil that everything grows in, all of the sugarcane and stuff grows in this volcanic soil, which in theory changes things a little bit. I don't know that for a fact. I'd have to do some scientific testing. It is made from molasses, not sugarcane juice like a rum agricole. The episode of Drinking with the Gnome that was supposed to come out today that is not done kind of breaks down all of these different styles of rum, and it probably would have been very helpful to have that episode coming into this episode, but that's sorry. I can only do so much. Okay. It's amber. It's like a coppery amber color. Surprise, surprise. It's like an aged spirit. It is fairly clean. I mean, there's some nuttiness, maybe a touch of some banana, but not a lot. Not a lot of those fruity kind of esters that I like fruit and grass and earth in my rum a lot. This doesn't have a lot of that. It's light. But there's definitely some barrely goodness here. All right. Let's get into this. Okay. Yeah, it's got some heat to it. It's got earthy. Not earthy is not the right word. Woody. Maybe some like cinnamon kind of not like when I say that I'm thinking like like spiced rum. No, not like that. Not like added cinnamon. Like a cinnamony kind of wood. A little bit of spiciness. That's pretty good. Spiciness like a boozy spice. It is clean though. Like it's not as what I would call complex as some of the other rums that we've had, like the Dr. Bird or things like that. This is still a nice sipping rum, but it's fairly straightforward, I guess is the best way to put it. Sean says Boozy Spice, my favorite Spice Girl. I imagine that a couple of them are Boozy Spice, or at least were. Okay. Yeah, I kind of dig that. It's I feel like this is a rum that I would use in a cocktail that was calling for some kind of an aged rum. I don't know that I'm sitting around and just sipping on this. It's fine, and I would, but I think it would fit into a cocktail pretty good. Yeah, like that's a solid rum. I like the bottle. I like the shape of it. I like the whole carbon neutral thing. I think it's a nice addition to something that we don't see a lot of that in. It's craft beer. There's a lot of breweries that have leaned into sustainability and pushed really hard into that. I don't think you've seen a lot of that with rum, as far as I know. So I kind of like that. Yeah, that's fine. If you see it, try it. I don't know that it's worth grabbing off a shelf. I don't know how much this bottle costs. I assume that this is pricey for rum is very different than pricey for something like whiskey. I assume that this is a little pricey for rum. This is not a $20 bottle. I imagine this is a $35 bottle is my guess. But it's fine. It's tasty. Chris has just under 50. Okay, so a little more expensive then. Yeah, that's pretty pricey for rum. I don't know. It's good, but I don't know that it's that good. I mean, I say that, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, and it went down pretty fast, so that has to mean something. All right, let's get into it. I got a couple things to talk about. We got to start things off. Well, I need another drink. I can't start talking about things without a drink. And I have a whole plethora of ingredients sitting here in front of me. Because as I promised, we're going to drink a cocktail. And I went with a painkiller tonight, as I said I would. And a painkiller is not necessarily it's not a complicated drink. And there's not a ton of ingredients, but there's enough that this little spot here is filled up. All right, let's start with kind of the as I build this cocktail, we'll go through the history. First things first, when we talk about a painkiller, this is not a blended cocktail. Chris says, keep in mind, I buy a lot of bourbon, so $50 is pretty good. That's the thing. It's expensive for a rum. Painkillers are not blended cocktails. If you make me a blended painkiller, and I've had plenty of blended painkillers out at tiki bars, not even tiki bar is not even the right word, because a proper tiki bar is not going to blend my painkiller, I hope. I would say like beachy kind of bars that have tiki vibes. I've had plenty of blended painkillers on vacation at different places, plenty of blended versions, and they're fine. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And there is a way that this is supposed to be, because the painkiller is one of the few, and there's a handful, most of them rum cocktails, which is a very strange thing, but one of the few trademarked cocktails. This is a registered trademark of the company that makes Pusser's rum, which is why, as we start to get into the ingredients, the very first one has to be Pusser's rum. You cannot use a different rum, or else it is not a painkiller anymore, and they will probably come after you. There was a bar in New York that called itself Painkiller, a tiki bar that has since gone out of business, I'm pretty sure. They had to change their name to PK NY because they got sued because Pussers did not like that they were using the name painkiller. So yeah, they're protective of it. There's the whole world of like trademarked cocktails in the rum world is very, very strange. I can't think of like any that aren't made with rum that are trademarked. There might be like signature cocktails, like you can go down to New Orleans and get the hand grenade, and that's trademarked mostly because of the cup. But it's a very strange thing. All right, let's start. I don't typically start with the rum. I usually go cheaper ingredients first, but we'll just make it up as we go. It's fine. We need 2 ounces of this Navy rum. The Pussers is that Navy rum. We'll talk about it at some point. That probably should have had that episode of the podcast up already, but whatever. And I need, what did I say, 2 ounces of this, 2 ounces of this. This is a pretty hefty drink. We'll say that. That's a decent amount of rum for a cocktail. All right, 2 ounces of that. Next up, pineapple juice. This is a juicy cocktail. I went on a little bit of a rampage last week about the Mai Tai and how a Mai Tai should not have a bunch of fruit juice dumped in it. I stand behind that stance, but this one should. This one should have plenty of juice. If I can do this without... let's do 4 ounces of pineapple juice. I love these little tiny cans of pineapple juice because I don't drink pineapple juice in anything but cocktails. All right, 4 ounces of this. I'm pretty sure all the way to the top of this thing is 4 ounces. Yeah, but I feel like that's going to spill. We'll do it anyways. Why not? 4 ounces all the way to the tippy top. Look at that. I didn't spill anything. Okay. It's a lot of pineapple juice. And then we need an ounce of orange juice. Got my orange juice. Simply orange juice. Some of these are ingredients that I don't typically keep on hand, except in the summertime when I want to make fruity cocktails. Not that I wouldn't make a fruity cocktail in the winter. I have been known to do that too, but okay. Ounce of orange juice, and then one of the most important ingredients. The next also most important ingredient. This stuff, and I had to get an extra can because I'll explain why. This is Coco Lopez. Coco Lopez is a cream of coconut. I don't think there's another option you can go with here. I think you need Coco Lopez. This is the best, and it has to be cream of coconut, not coconut milk, not coconut water. It has to be cream of coconut, which is got like sugar in it and stuff too. This stuff is super important. It's also really, really gross if you just take a room temperature can. These cans are fine and they last forever. This one is best if used by November of 2029. The thing is, like, if you just open it right now, it's solidified. It's like this disgusting, slimy blob. So what I do is I take the can before I'm making a cocktail, and I fill up the bar sink with a little bit of hot water, and I throw it in there for a couple minutes. Not enough for the can to get hot, but just enough to get it to where you can kind of shake it up. You can hear that it's liquid. That's what we want. But it makes the label all nasty. Usually comes off. So I had to get another one so you could see what I was using. Okay, the only things that I use Coco Lopez for are painkillers and pina coladas. I don't know any other cocktails that use them. I'm sure there's plenty, but I don't know them. I only need an ounce of this, which means we're going to have a whole bunch left over, so maybe we'll just keep drinking as the show goes on. Maybe we'll make a pina colada. I probably should have got a spoon to help kind of break this up, actually. Let's do that. Let me grab a spoon here. I'm ill-prepared. Because although it's not as solidified as it could be, it's still a little solidified. There's some chunctified chunks going on here. We want to get rid of that. We want it to be evenly distributed. There we go. It's really gross looking. It's kind of like, I don't even want to say. It's like if you took seafood and dumped it in a blender. It kind of looks like that. Man, I've got label all over me. All right, let's see if we can get about an ounce in here, because that's what I need. All right, we went a little bit heavy. Ounce and a half. That's okay. There's that. All right. Oh, did I just get... Oh, gross. Gross. Okay. Now we got to shake this thing up. Zach says, love me so coconut. I think that's some coconut. I do enjoy coconut, especially in cocktails. I don't love like actual like coconut. The texture. I don't really love it. It's fine. Like it's fine on things. Julia says, chug the cream. No, I'm making a cocktail out of it. Isn't that better? And then okay, yeah, we have. Oh, I did dribble. I was doing so good. Making a mess. You gotta shake this thing up really good. Make sure our coconut chunks are all broken up. Okay. And then we need big old tall glass with some more ice. Come on. Okay. I didn't bring a strainer in from the other room. Ow. It's all right. We'll just try not to get too much of the crappy ice in there. That. And then, so typically this will be garnished with like a pineapple or like an orange and a cherry, something like that. And then nutmeg. I don't have any other garnishes, but I do have some nutmeg. So we'll get some fresh nutmeg on top, which I do think is important, because you get a big whiff of it as you are taking your sip. Just like that. And that, ooh, nutmeg. There's nutmeg all over the desk. All right, where do we put this that it doesn't get inside of a keyboard or something? At least it smells good. All right. That is a painkiller. All right, let me get my face into this and see how delicious it is. It smells like fresh nutmeg. Smells like coconut. Smells like summertime. Oh my God. It's so good. It's like it reminds me of some kind of a cake. It tastes like cake. It's not like, they're sneaky. Like the amount of rum in here does not match up with the flavor. But yeah, it's like a delicious coconutty cake of some kind. A lot of like when you go to some of these like beachy bars, like I feel like most of the drinks that you get are like these just real kind of watery, fruity, boozy something. And like they're just not that wonderful. We were one of the short little vacation trips that we took this summer. I spent a lot of time bellied up at a what they called a tiki bar. It was not a tiki bar, but it was a nice little beach bar, and they had like the little frozen machines. They had like a pina colada and a strawberry daiquiri, and then they had a wine slushy, and then they had like this blue raspberry something or other. And I sat down, and both the pina colada and the strawberry daiquiri were like about to run out. And he was like, "Yeah, we got to refill those. They're not really available right now." Which normally I'm going for one of those or a Miami Vice, which is both of them twisted together, which is delicious. I don't really want a wine slushy when it's hot outside. So like that blue raspberry, whatever that thing is, this bright blue thing, I'll take that. And he's like, "Well, this doesn't have any booze in it yet. What kind of booze do you want in it?" And I said, "Well, I just, whatever booze that you guys typically put in it, that's what I want." And he's like, "Well, we usually put vodka in it." And I was like, "Oh, I know that's the wrong choice, but if that's the way it comes, that's the first one that I'm going to drink." So I got my first one, and it was a vodka blue raspberry frozen something or other. Not the proper drink for a beach bar. Later on, I fixed it with some rum, but yeah, just like, this is what I want. I want drinks like this. It's got texture. It's got personality. It's it tastes like a dessert. This is a good drink. That's a great drink. The story here behind the painkiller. This is one you could drink out of a straw too, to kind of prevent all of that nutmeg from getting right in your face the whole time. This was invented in the early 70s, 1971, by this lady named Daphne Henderson. She owned a bar called the Soggy Dollar Bar in the British Virgin Islands. It's called the Soggy Dollar Bar because it's a beach bar, and it doesn't have a dock in front of it. So boats would have to pull up and anchor themselves out a little bit. And then to get to the bar, you had to just kind of hop out of your boat, walk up through the surf, and walk up to the bar. So typically when people were paying, your dollars were a little soggy. That's the story. I like it, so I'm going to say it's probably true. She invented a drink similar to this. She invented it, and it was a huge hit. Everybody loved it. People would come there to this bar just to get this drink. Chris says her name wasn't Painkiller. Maybe they called her that. Everybody liked this, including the guy that started this company. So the guy that started this company, he leased the rights to make the Royal Navy's rum recipe from the British Royal Navy, and then donates a portion of the proceeds back. He liked to visit the Soggy Dollar Bar, and he liked painkillers, and would not stop bothering Daphne about this recipe. And she wouldn't give it to him. She was tight-lipped about it, as a lot of cocktails are. There's a whole thing about creating this signature drink for your bar. That is why people go there. It's especially with rum. Like there's a weird thing there about creating signature drinks. She had her drink. She's not going to give it up. He was relentless with it. And one day, somehow, he managed to smuggle Painkiller in like a bottle or something, a vial, I don't know, back onto his boat. And he set himself up in his galley and spent the entire day trying to figure this recipe out, and went back and forth trying to reverse engineer this cocktail. Eventually came up with something that he liked, that he thought was pretty close. Made a batch up, took it back to the Soggy Dollar Bar and poured it for everybody there. Said, here, I think I got it. Here's my painkiller. Have at it. Everybody tries it. It's not the same. It's definitely not the same. His was, I believe, a little sweeter, I believe. I think. I'd have to go double check on that if his was sweeter or hers was sweeter, but it was different. But unanimously, every single person that was in the bar liked his better. So he went and he trademarked the cocktail and ran with it, made it into a worldwide phenomenon. Does still credit her. Anytime you see them publish their recipe, it says down at the bottom something about inspired by Daphne at Soggy Dollar Bar. He gives her full credit for being the originator of this drink, but definitely he trademarked it. So that's the story of the painkiller, and it's a darn good drink. It's a great drink. Yeah, like pina coladas are good. This is a little bit more restrained on the coconut, and again, just it tastes more cakey. This might be the best painkiller I think I've ever had, and I get that I made it, so it should be. But man, that's a good drink. I might actually make another one after this. That's wonderful. Now that we've got that out of the way, we should talk about something. We should talk about weed. Weed water. The battle rages on. I've really got my my money's worth on this this graphic that I keep getting put up here of Mike DeWine battling a hemp plant. Zach says, I also like the question I figured you could ask here tonight from Blake Longfellow's podcast you were on. What's the farthest you traveled to a brewery? I guess what's the farther we go to a brewery? We'll get to that. So we'll get everybody caught up here about the, John says, if only you had more coconut cream. Oh, wait. Yeah, I got plenty of that. I might have to get another can of pineapple juice. There's been a lot of things that have happened with weed water. It started with Senate Bill 56, which was originally written very, what I would call very nicely for the industry. Left this this carve out that allowed hemp-based THC beverages to keep existing, but put age gate on it and a 10. Was it a 10 milligram max on it? I can't remember now if it was 10 or 5. It put a max of how much they could be and how old you had to be to buy them. It was a good, well-written law, and right as it was being passed, Governor DeWine scribbled that little bit out. He just went in there and went and scribbled it right out and said, never mind, no weed water for you. Well, that obviously got everybody fired up and has now resulted in several lawsuits. The first one was 10 different companies that got an injunction that allowed them to not be prosecuted for the things that are in Senate Bill 56. The second one happened a lot faster. The lawsuit was issued by 14 different companies here in Ohio, and within like 2 days they put out a restraining order that again allows them to not be prosecuted for Senate Bill 56. So now we have 24 different companies in Ohio that can produce and sell hemp-based THC beverages. Locally, what that means is Rheingeist can sell it again. 50 West can sell it again. Urban Artifact can sell it again. We branch out a little bit. We can go up to Columbus, and Seventh Son can now sell it again. Great Lakes can sell theirs again. I think Jackie O's has one. They can sell theirs again. There's a lot of great local breweries that are now able to sell this thing that They put a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of infrastructure into making it a viable product. It's not over by any stretch. In fact, this recent restraining order only lasts for 14 days when they have to look at it again. That's the same as the other injunction that's in place. They're revisiting that every 14 days. And as of right now, come the end of this year, federally it all becomes illegal anyways. So unless that changes, there's not much we can do. It's insane. I think I've made that very clear. My stance on this. I'm not a huge weed guy. I don't mind weed. I've had my fair share of hemp-based THC beverages, and they're fine. I like alcohol more, but they're fine. However, I think that people should be able to get it. I think that it is very clearly a product that a lot of people here in Ohio and well beyond want on shelves, and it's what I would say it's the role of the government to make sure that happens safely. Yeah, it is a good cocktail. That's a really good cocktail. Okay. I don't know that we need to go into a whole lot of more detail about that. I'm curious what these two different lawsuits, and especially this last one that the restraining order was put into effect so quickly. What does that say about Senate Bill 56? At what point does Ohio just get the message that they just need to fix it and rewrite it and make it the way it's supposed to be? That's all I got to say about that, in the words of Forrest Gump. Moving on, this is what I think for me is the big local story this week. Of course, before I get this, we should mention MadTree is opening their new location. The Alcove opens this week. I did get a sneak peek at the space and had a couple cocktails and a bunch of food, and it was amazing. I do have a video that I don't know what day I'm going to get it done, but it'll be out soon, that kind of shows the space and kind of explains why Alcove and Parks and Rec can coexist and why they're both spaces that need to coexist. But go see the space for yourself. I think that's the lesson here. Chris says, I have reservations for tomorrow night. I believe that I heard they are swamped tomorrow with reservations. I think it is going to be busy. I think that they, pretty sure they said they filled up pretty quickly for their reservations. So, yeah, enjoy yourself. They had what I think is probably the world's biggest charcuterie tray laid out for everybody. It was like 47 feet long. That might be an exaggeration, but it was this big old giant charcuterie tray. And then all night, people just kept coming out with more buckets of like meat and cheese and stuff and just refilling this tray. It was awesome. The Brussels sprouts were out. They had spinach artichoke dip. They had these little street corn something or other things that were out. They had shrimp cocktail, which is not on the menu, but I had so many shrimp that I'm pretty sure they were coming out my ears. That's how many shrimp I ate. Chris says open table had no issues, so now I'm concerned. I think it's busy. Marco says, Julia, did you check it? Yeah. I was definitely outnumbered. It was like sometimes I get invited to events that I feel like I don't belong at, and this was one of those ones. I felt very out of place. Ryan says the crispy potatoes appetizer was unbelievable. They've got a great menu. It is the same menu that is at OTR, so if you've ever eaten at OTR, go to OTR, and they'll give you an idea of what the menu's like. Or just go there. Yeah, just get your reservations in and go there. All right. Moving on. Fig Leaf. Fig Leaf is closed. Now, I don't know that this news was shocking. Kevin Deck says, I'll check out the alcove in 16 weeks when things have died down. I don't know that it's going to die down in 16 weeks. I actually feel like this place is going to be packed for a very long time. It is like it's the space that Summit Park needed. Some place that is a little more cocktail focused, a little more wine focused. With all that being said, like, granted, there's going to be a lot of beer there too, or a decent amount of beer. It's probably not my space. Like, this is not a space that, unless I'm going like for dinner with my wife or something like that, I don't think I'm hanging out at Alcove. I'm going to Parks and Rec. Like, that's more of my space. So it can be as busy as it wants to be, and I'm okay with it. Fig Leaf is closed. We've been talking about Fig Leaf a lot over the last 6 to 8 months. Anybody who's been there has seen that there is a whole bunch of beer that is not theirs on tap. There was a whole bunch of beer that is not theirs on tap, and not a lot of their beer anymore, as they were kind of, I guess, winding down brewing operations. Julia says, speaking of Fig Leaf, the tap list at the March 1st Blue Ash location is almost all Jackie O's and non-M1 beer and Astra. Wondering how long that space will last. I think it will last. So, and here's kind of my confusion, because their statement, let's just read their statement here and see what it says. It says, to our loyal guests, neighbors, and friends, after much thought and careful planning, we have made the difficult decision to close our Fig Leaf Taproom in Middletown. Our last day of taproom service will be Sunday, August 9th. The decision was not driven by the performance of this location. In fact, ever since we acquired the assets in 2019, the business has been successful. Our team has been exceptional, and the support we've received from this community has been more than we could have hoped for. We are incredibly grateful to everyone who has made this location such a special place over the years. As our company continues to grow, we regularly evaluate how our facilities fit into our long-term strategy. I buy that. While this location has served us well, it is no longer the best fit for where business is headed. I buy that. That makes sense. For that reason, the property is being offered for sale. We will be relocating our brewing operations, equipment, and brands to a facility that is closer to our other locations, allowing us to consolidate production and operate more efficiently. That makes sense. It makes sense. Our brewing operation will continue at the site until the consolidation is complete. That's the sentence that I don't really understand. So they've clearly been scaling back brewing operations, and they're planning on moving things somewhere else. Wouldn't you kind of ramp up brewing operations a little bit so that you can then move your things and then start back brewing operations and have a little bit of a stockpile to eat up that little in-between period? It doesn't make sense. There's something in this statement that doesn't add up to me. There should not be a lack of March 1st or Fig Leaf beer in the middle of this transition. I get the need to close it or to move it or consolidate things or get things closer. I understand that. I understand that 100%, but there's something that's not adding up here. With that being said, they are saying that they are opening another location in Westchester, and I'm not going to read the rest of the statement, but they're opening another location in Westchester that will house a brewery, and in theory that will be the same as what Fig Leaf is. I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't do a smaller brewery. I don't know that you need that big of a brew house. I think a small brew house would probably suffice. And if you want to put guest taps on, put guest taps on. That's fine. I get that's fine. I don't understand. Julia says, so brewing is moving to where? Milford, Blue Ash, Gold Coast. Blue Ash or Gold Coast will be a big decrease inside the brew house. I don't know if Milford has any space for brewing equipment, whatever. uh, from what I'm understanding and what I was told by my what I'll call sources, is that brewing operations are moving to the new location that doesn't exist yet. It's in Westchester somewhere. I could not get an answer of where. I just wish that that we could get like a straight, honest answer about it. When you put guest taps on, tell us why you're putting them on. Just be straight up. If it's just because you really like BrewDog, fine. Like, tell us that it's because you really like BrewDog. If it's because you don't think you can brew a hazy IPA that's as good as Elvis Juice, that's fine. Like, that's fine. If it's because you're planning on ramping down operations and maybe not making beer anymore, that's fine too. Like, I don't know. Chris says, I'm leasing them space in my garage. They offered payment in Elvis Juice. It's a lot of Elvis Juice to make it worthwhile. Oh, man. Turns out I love painkillers. Ryan says, if you open a new location and don't have Fig Leaf beers, do you even call it Fig Leaf? It'll just be another March 1st. That is on my my notes here. So we don't know exactly what any of that means. They do say in there are brands. That could just mean Cincinnati Distilling products, Astra, and March 1st beers. Or it could mean Fig Leaf would come over too. I don't know that it makes sense anymore to hang on to the Fig Leaf name. I think maybe you sell it with the building if that makes sense for somebody. I think it could make a lot of sense for somebody, which we'll talk about that part of it here in a second. But I think at this point you just go March 1st. You just make all of your beers March 1st. There has not been any distinction between March 1st beers and Fig Leaf beers for a long time. That distinction at one time did exist. Like, you used to be able to understand what a March 1st product was, what a Woodburn product was, and what a Fig Leaf product was. There were very different pieces of craft beer. Chris says maybe they will start this contract distilling with Northern Liberties too. I doubt it. Over the last couple years, we've just seen less and less distinction between those brands and what those products look like, and I don't. I think that's okay. Like, I think if you want your products to just be March 1st and be that personality, that kind of straight-laced, middle-of-the-road craft beer thing, I think that's fine. There is a huge segment for that. But then why hang on to the Fig Leaf name at this point? And so I don't know. To answer the question of, can we even call it Fig Leaf, or will it just be another March 1st? We don't know the answer to that yet. I would venture to guess, my instinct and my feeling is that it's another March 1st location, is what I would assume it is. We'll see. Or an Astra location. I still have been waiting on that. I think maybe Hard Seltzer has sailed, but maybe not. We'll see. I do think that they will continue to make their own spirits in Milford in their distillery there. Out of all of the comments that I've read from people or heard from people, one of the biggest ones is that there are still a ton of people that love their spirits program. So I don't think we'll see that change anytime soon. As far as brewing happening in Milford, I'm pretty sure that there is some space down in the basement there, they could put a small brew house. I don't know how big, but you could fit a little brew house down there and make some beer. That's the biggest question through all of this is how much beer do they even want to make? Kevin says that Astra is the March 1st brand that is most recognized. Yeah, I think so right now. I mean, I think the Cincinnati distilling stuff has become pretty recognized at this point. But yeah, Astra's is probably still top. Whether or not it's the top seller, I don't know. But they also haven't been making enough beer to really try to compete with that. Have I mentioned that this is a good cocktail? Okay. Unless we have other thoughts about Fig Leaf, which I guess I have some questions about Fig Leaf. I have lots. There is a sadness with this, especially when you think back to Fig Leaf historically. The company, the name, the brewery, Fig Leaf, would have been celebrating 10 years in October, which is a big deal to be able to make it 10 years. So it's a shame that they weren't able to cross that threshold. I'm curious if this is a sign just of that business in particular, or if this is a bigger statement about not specifically Middletown. I don't want to pick on Middletown, but it has to be mentioned that there's been a lot of businesses that have gone out of Middletown, and the area is struggling a bit. It's not having a field day with trying to get people there. I don't know if that's that's a city problem and the city working with businesses. I don't know if it's just a location problem, as somebody on Facebook mentioned that nobody wants to go to Middletown, which I don't buy, that nobody wants to go to Middletown. But is it a struggle for people to get to Middletown? What does it mean for Middletown? What does it mean for Middletown's craft beer scene? I mean, we've got New Ales and Gravel Road up there still working their butts off, but what does this do for them? Does this hurt them? Does this help them? Does this what does it mean? Chris says it's closer to Monroe, really. Yeah, I mean, it's technically in Middletown, but I've always kind of considered it Monroe, but it's not. It is Middletown. There's some sadness there to see it close. Although rumors that I've heard is that there are a couple people that might be interested in it. I don't know any details about who those are. It could be other breweries, or it could be used car dealerships that are buying old brewery buildings. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I hope it's somebody. Like it's not a bad spot. Like it's not the best spot in the world, but it's not a bad spot. And I do think that we need some kind of community that is in between Dayton and Cincinnati. And with Slipcast opening up eventually here in Franklin, and you've got, again, Gravel Road, and you've got New Ales, and, there is this thing happening that could create that little community. Julia says it'll be a Spirit Halloween, and then it'll be an Olive Garden. Dex says it's going to be a bank. Well, I mean, there's a lot worse things that it could be. Chris says it's on a busy road. The location is fine. That's what I think, but what do I know? Okay, I'm out of cocktail. I was going to mix up another one, but then I remembered that I had prepared for this inevitable situation. I have what I'm going to call an RTD. That is a very loose definition. I'm going to put it over ice, too. If I can get the ice out of my cup. There we go. That'll work. There's like 2 pieces still stuck in there, but that's all right. It's been a long time since I've done this, and I can tell you already, I'm probably not going to like it. I got a Buzzball. This is called Lotta Colada, which I'm assuming is a pina colada. A lot of pina colada. A lot of colada pina colada. I thought it fit the theme. It's not going to be good. It does say on here that it has rum in it. That is the first ingredient. This is rum with, rum with other than standard orange wine. What the heck does that mean? Rum with other than standard orange wine. It's got cream and natural pineapple and coconut flavors. Why? Why? Have a ball. Creamy. Have a creamy ball. Oh, man. I don't understand these things at all. Ryan says, don't do it. Make another painkiller instead. That's probably the smarter thing here, but where's the fun in that? I do have some other fun RTDs to drink. Oh, God. In the near future. So I gotta prepare my liver at some point. I still don't understand Buzzballs. I don't understand the packaging size, the shape, the any of it. I don't get it. The can top. I don't understand. It's like bright white too. Like it's not even. It doesn't even look natural. Okay. Let's see what it smells like. Oh, it smells like artificial coconut. It smells like suntan lotion. It smells great. Joe says, I hope that Buzzball is pasteurized. I'm sure it is. Yeah, it actually doesn't smell bad at all. It smells great. Like it smells like a fun little tropical drink. This looks and smells like I would expect my cocktail to come to me if I was at any one of these like little summery beach bars that I've been to. This is what I expect. All right. Cheers. Okay. That's not terrible. It could be improved. I think that like if I blended this, I think I would really like it, but just over ice, it's I don't know. Chris says that standard orange wine is where winemakers leave the white grape skins and seeds in contact with the juice during fermentation. Skin contact adds an amber orange color, bold tannins, and rich texture flavor. Yeah, but rum with other than standard orange wine. What is other than standard? I know what orange wine is. This is other than standard orange wine. John says, have you seen the game of tossing buzzballs at someone? If they try to catch it, they have to drink it. If they just let it hit them, the thrower has to drink. Game on. Okay. They're using other than that. I don't understand. I get where you're going with this, but it doesn't make any sense. I have not seen that, by the way. My TikTok algorithm must be different than yours. Well, clearly it's the orange wine. It's not the orange wine they throw away. It's the orange wine they should throw away. Other than standard means that the wine itself is fermented to a much lower or higher alcohol content than standard without fortification, adding higher ABV liqueurs to boost alcohol content, such as with port wine. Okay, that kind of makes sense. So it's orange wine, not made from oranges, for the record. Fermented to higher alcohol content. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Steve says they're cheapening out on where the alcohol comes from. People expect to see rum, but they can get other alcohol cheaper. That's part of it. It also changes where they can sell it. Like, I can just go to any gas station and grab this off a shelf because it's made with wine. If it was made with, if it was rum and high proof rum, you couldn't do that. And also, distributors. I think there's a change with distributors there too in a lot of places. I don't know. It's fine. I think they're not delicious. I can tell you that, but they're not like. I understand why the product itself, why some people drink them. I still don't understand the form factor. That's the biggest thing. And I have some content that I will be making about some of these weird form factor products as soon as I get them all. But that's a topic for another day. Let's talk about Oktoberfest before we wrap things up. I mentioned it earlier. We're in the middle of Oktoberfest season. 'Tis the season. That's the title of this week's episode, because we are in Oktoberfest season, lest you think any differently. I've been drinking them. I have tried a bunch of them, and I've been loving them. And the quest is underway. Here's my initial question that I want to throw out to you guys. If you're not familiar, every single year I do what I call the Great Oktoberfest Quest. This is the quest for the best fest. I find the best Oktoberfest beer, packaged Oktoberfest beer in Cincinnati. I get all of them. I buy all of them. I fill fridges all over my house full of Oktoberfest beers, and I run them through a bracket until there is a final 4 usually left, and then we do a live event where me and a couple guest judges try those 4 head-to-head and blindly decide which one is the best. It gets a little more confusing every single year, it feels like. And I'm trying. Julia says Esoterics is out now. I tried it on what day? Friday. I had it on Friday, and it was good. I'm trying to prepare this year for whatever chaos can be thrown at me. The hard part about this whole bracket is that sometimes you don't know exactly what all the packaged beers are going to be. Sometimes people surprise you last minute. They don't give me a heads up that they're going to put theirs in packaging, and it messes with the bracket. Sometimes you also have to wait way longer to get a packaged beer than you should, and it holds up the whole thing trying to figure that out. I've been toying with this idea over the last couple quests that maybe the first round won't be head-to-head. That the first round I would just drink everything, come up with some kind of pretty elaborate scoring system that would give every beer a score, and then at the end of trying all of the beers, I would have a top 32 that would just then go through the bracket, or maybe even a top 16 or whatever that number is. It would make it a whole lot easier to plan out timing for not only the finals, but for videos to come out that would work through the the last couple rounds. Dex says Devil's Backbone in Virginia has an Oktoberfest lager. It is very good. I don't know that I've ever had their Oktoberfest. I will say they are owned by Anheuser-Busch. Take that for whatever you want it to be. That's all I'll say. Chris says that Alexandria has their pumpkin ale in cans now. Look, it's also pumpkin season, no matter whether you like it or not. I'm not ready for pumpkin, but I can drink Oktoberfest. Chris says, sounds like you need help with that first round. I need help with the timing. I need to know when people are going to release their beers. Once I get a hold of everything, it's not too bad. That's interesting. I don't think you'll ever like show up to my house and see a fridge full of BuzzBalls. I can tell you that. Julia says, I think it sounds like a great idea, and it sounds like it would make your quest a little easier. Go for it. It definitely, like, it makes, the biggest thing that it'll do is make it so that the finals are, the numbers always work out. There's been some years where trying to get it down to a final four is a little weird. Trying to get it, sometimes it's been a final five or final three or whatever. Julia says, bottom line, it's your quest. Do it however makes most sense to you. Well, I just want to sit around and drink beer. As long as I get to do that, I don't care. I do need to buy a bunch more. Like I've noticed that there are a lot out. I don't know if I've been checking. I don't know if I've been checking release dates and keeping notes on them for like the last couple years, but I feel like this year there's been a lot more released early than typical. Chris says we can start a chat group for folks to report what they're seeing where. I typically try to buy them at the brewery to make sure they've been handled the best possible, typically. Chris says the Party Source has a load right now. Yeah, there's been years where I've had to just stock up pretty much on a bunch of them at Party Source. I'll go in there and just load up a cart with everything. Julia says Chris is also looking forward to a silver gnome statue. He's not technically a silver gnome. He's just a little tiny version of the trophy. Virginia Brew Pub, Devil's Backbone location, brews its beer on site. Yes, it does. It's we were going somewhere, and on our way we were stopping for, it was like a late breakfast, early lunch, and we pulled off the exit that the brew pub is there to we were meeting people. That was like the stop. We were meeting people, and then we were kind of caravanning to wherever we were going. I don't remember, North Carolina or something. And we pulled off at that exit, and it was the exit where Devil's Backbone is, and my family would not stop, and I'm still harboring anger about not going there. I think they make great beer. They've got a great Vienna lager. I like their beer. I've liked their beer. It's a little strange buying beer from, the evil empire. Ryan says, let me know if you need a patriarch to help judge the Final Four this year. I will keep you in mind. We typically have our judges set, but maybe we'll change things up this year. Maybe we'll have 47 judges. We'll see. The important thing is to just make sure it's always a number that makes sure we don't have a tie. Although a tie doesn't even matter because it's my competition. So if there's a tie, whatever I vote just is the winner. Last year was the very first time we have ever done this. Last year was the only time that I've done this competition, and in the finals, the beer that I thought was the best didn't actually win. It came in second, and that's a very strange experience for me. So I don't know if I like the idea of bringing in a bunch of judges. To be honest, though, like when you get to the finals, any one of the beers that are there could win and deserve to win. They're all great beers, and the decision is always really, really tough at the very end because they are so close to each other, and there's just like minute differences that you have to then decide how that ranks in your head. All right, I'm gonna wrap things up, and I'm gonna make another painkiller and clean up all of this sticky mess that's all over the desk, and I'll get this show posted. And yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Hopefully, somebody out there also had a cocktail, and hopefully it was better than this cocktail. Next week we'll drink something. Should we do? Should we do another cocktail next week? Maybe something more simple, or maybe we'll just do a random cocktail. That could be fun. Like there's definitely cocktail books that just have a section just dedicated to rum. Maybe we'll do that. We'll do a spin the wheel random cocktail or random. Yeah, we'll do random, but I will pre-randomize it so that I can make sure I have the ingredients on hand. How about that? I will randomly choose one without you, and you'll just have to trust me that it was random, and then I'll reveal it on the air. I have a ton of fun cocktail books that could make that pretty exciting. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. If you like this, you know the drill. Go to thegnarlygnome.com/support, and you can become a Gnomie, because Gnomies are the fuel that sends this rocket right to your ears every single Monday. And without them, none of this stuff exists. So thank you to the Gnomies, and you should become one too. If you aren't already subscribed to the other podcasts, make sure you're subscribed to Cincy Brewcast. And Kevin says that whiskey, vermouth, bitters is the only cocktail you need. Oh, I don't know. There are some good cocktails out there, especially with this rum kick that I'm on. A daiquiri is just about perfection, which is kind of on the same vein. It's a pretty simple cocktail, but man, it's hard to beat. Make sure you subscribe to Cincy Brewcast. That is the podcast that I do that is interview based about Cincinnati craft beer, the people that make it, the people that own the breweries, and the drinkers of Cincinnati craft beer. If you're not already subscribe. And then Drinking with the Gnome. There will be a new episode up this week where we talk about rum, all of what makes rum. Sort of. We'll talk a little bit about history and a little bit about rum but the biggest focus of this episode is just kind of categorizing all of your rums, so you can kind of understand what makes a Nicaraguan rum. And is there a difference between that and a Puerto Rican rum, other than where it's made? I don't know. You have to listen this week. Tune in and subscribe. Drink with a Gnome. Yeah. Chris says, don't put that in there, but it fits. I'll see you guys next week. I appreciate you. Here's the biggest here's what we learned from this week, or here's what we should learn from this week. If you are a craft brewery here in Cincinnati and you've been around for 10 years or more, let's see who is on that list, and I'll spread it to not just craft breweries. We'll say, okay, here we go. All right. Breweries. This is let's just read through oldest to newest. Yeah, this is companies, so that should work. Okay. The oldest brewery in town. That's not accurate. How am I missing this here? Okay. This is a little better. These are what I'm calling brewery spaces. by age. The oldest in town would be Molson Coors up in Trenton, the Miller Coors Brewery. They are the oldest current brewing location in Greater Cincinnati. Number 2, oldest, opened in 1997. That is the Sam Adams Brewery, Boston beer on Central Parkway. Not the tap room, the brewery. The 3rd oldest opened in 2003. That is Hofbrauhaus, Newport. The what a lot of people consider the oldest craft brewery in town would be Mount Carmel Brewing. They now have their carriage house. If you've not been there to have a meal, you should. They have great wings, and they're great people. So go there and have a beer. They opened in 2005. Then the Cincinnati Lager House opened in 2012 at the Banks. It used to be called the Moorline Lager House. It is now Cincinnati Lager House. Also, great place. Chris says, only because Rock Bottom isn't here anymore. Yeah. Next oldest, this is one that's going to surprise some people. Cellar Dweller, Valley Vineyards Cellar Dweller. They started brewing in 2012 also. They are still a brewery. I don't know that they are making their own beer right now, but they count. They definitely count. They're actually doing a lot of work right now. I'm curious to see how they keep evolving. Next oldest is not accurate. Why? My little spreadsheet here is malfunctioning for me. It has Rheingeist next, but that is not true because Matry should be before. Actually, a lot of these are wrong. Okay, so next, maybe Wiedemann. We'll count Wiedemann. So Wiedemann, they came back as a contract brand, did not have their actual brewery. The contract brand was relaunched in 2012, and the brewery didn't open until 2018. So do that math however you want, but they're old. Up next, 50 West. That's a good one. 50 West, they started in November of 2012. I don't know how many of these I'm going to go through, but I'm having fun looking at them. Then comes Matry, 2013. Then comes Rheingeist, 2013. And then comes Paradise, 2014. I'll do a couple more here. Braxton is the next one in line, in 2015. We'll roll through all of 2015 here. Urban Artifact, 2015. Fibonacci, 2015. Municipal was 2016. So, yep, there we go. Kevin says that Wiedemann's has a good taproom restaurant. They have a great little taproom thing going on there. Way underappreciated. Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. At some point, I'm going to have like a really cool feature on the website that is some kind of like a interactive timeline thing that breaks down like when everybody opened and kind of tracks how many breweries were in town by year all the way back historically. I've been working on that for way too long and I need to get it done. But if my own little note system here on my computer, you guys can't see it. It's a great little drink cam. Drink cam can see it. If this doesn't work the way it's supposed to, I don't know how I'm going to get the website to work the way it's supposed to. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. The painkiller has me feeling no pain. It worked. Painkiller and a buzz ball. That's all you need. Thank you guys. We'll be back next week. We'll do it again. Hopefully, there's no more closures in that time. Hopefully, there's happy booze news in the time between now and then. I'm out of town tomorrow. We're going out of town to go to the Columbus Zoo. Hopefully, that means that I'm going to drink some beer that is not Cincinnati beer, so I'll have something fun to talk about in regards to that. Hopefully, I can convince my family to take me to a tiki bar for dinner, because one of my favorite tiki bars is in Columbus, and I haven't been there for a long time, so we'll see how that works. Fingers crossed. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for hanging out. Plan a cocktail for next week, because we're gonna cocktail it up. Cheers, everybody. See you then. Do you think there's a restaurant somewhere where people drink BuzzBalls? Like they keep them in a cooler, and somebody sits down. Hey, yeah. What kind of BuzzBalls do you guys have? Oh, we got the Lotta Colada, the Watermelon Splash, the Cherry Dream. Oh yeah, I'll take a Lotta Colada. They just hand them a BuzzBall, crack it open. Here you go, man. Bet that exists somewhere. Hell.